Hey y'all, Veronica here. So y'all, it is the last day of our Cookies for Santa workshop. It's been so much fun, y'all. I'm super excited. We have several more tutorials today. If you're seeing me on this part of the live, you're probably here for the replay. Let me know you're here in the comments. Drop a replay in the comments, y'all. So look, we've been busy, haven't we? Y'all, I'm so gosh dang excited. Let me find the live. I'm super excited. Look, in the last 24 hours, I thought of a whole nother cookie idea that we're going to make too. Okay. It may be, it's not my favorite one of the workshop. Okay, because the idea, the way that I had to make it didn't really work. So this was like plan B, but I think it's still cute though. So we're going to try it together. Let me just find us. There we are. Make sure that's muted too. I don't like to hear my own voice, y'all. All right. Hey. Good morning. It's barely the morning, but good morning. Hey. Perry, have you seen all the goodies that we've been making? I'm so excited. Okay. Y'all, ignore the mess, okay? That's just how it is here. All right. My craft room is messy. It is what it is, okay? But we can make cute stuff in a messy craft room. Good morning. Okay, y'all. So far, we have made a Cookies for Santa sign, which I've been plagued by green glitter. Cookies for Santa. Is this not the cutest? This is kind of the inspiration for the whole workshop, actually, to be honest, because I just love this sign so much. And I was like, well, it needs a bunch of cookies with it, and I love making cookie attachments. And so here we are, y'all. This sign came from Carrie at Hot and Edge Mom. It is on her site. Very affordable and extremely easy to paint. You do not need any painting skills. This live replay is up inside the group. Okay? Yes! Well, I hope you make some. I hope you give us a try here. Then we went live and made giant snowflake gingerbread cookies. We got the little glitter detail. We added some peppermints on one. I still haven't decided which one I'm going to use in my wreath, but I'm kind of leaning to the plain one just because I have so much going on here, y'all. We'll see. We'll see when we get there, okay? So we had those. That replay is up. All right. And then we made, hold please, sorry. Okay. Then we made gingerbread heart with sprinkles. Super, super, super cute. That replay is up too, y'all. Then, oh, we did our swirls after that. This replay is up too. It's just a quick little swirl. Y'all, this is a 4-inch cake board. We've been using cake boards to make all these cookies, except for the heart. And we made a cake board use a cake board for our swirl too. That replay is up. That one's the one that says bonus time. And we also made the milk in that video. So there's that one with the sprinkles on the rim. And then there's the plain one, y'all. It's just some glittery, magical little milk for Santa to go with our cookies. I just thought it would be cute to do. Super quick, super easy. No painting, no clay involved. Easy peasy. With this one in particular, y'all, I added sprinkles because I tried to glue the straw to it so it wouldn't wiggle, and it got like super crusty and it looked ugly. And so we decided we're just going to cover it with sprinkles, right? Solves all the problems. Easy peasy, and now it's still cute. So we have those. Yes, ma'am. You know, you can use all kind of stuff to make attachments. You can use the cheap little wood cutouts. You can cut your own cutouts out of foam board. But we're using cake boards. They're already cut. They're super cheap. They come in pack. This is plastic, by the way. You can get cardboard ones. They work too. I like the plastic more though. So, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Isn't that nifty? Okay, then we made our little frosted sugar cookies. Isn't that so cute? All right. And then we made my favorite. Okay. Once again, I'm plagued by the green glitter. Look. Y'all. Keep you a lint roller. We did our little slice and bake. Little Christmas tree cookie. Y'all, this is a really, really good one. First off, this is my first time ever sharing this. Ever. My first time making this. And we have so many ideas for this. Y'all can make these for any season, any holiday, any little simple little design on them. And they are so gosh dang cute, okay? So there's that. Make sure y'all watch that replay. That replay is up too. And then today, we're going to make some chocolate chip cookies together. Gotta have the chocolate chips, okay? Oh, good. Kelly! Hey, girl. So we're going to make... Was it you that made the velvet chocolate chip cookies? Was it you? Am I remembering correctly? We're going to do felt. You can do fleece, okay? But... Y'all know those slice and bake cookies that y'all get from the store. And it used to come in a log when I was a kid. And you would have to slice them yourself. Okay? And when you bake them, the little picture in the middle is all blobby. That's why it's easy, because it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? You can make a blobby little cute little design on there. So, yes. Okay, so I really liked Kelly's velvet ones. We are going to do felt, though. We're sticking with our felt today. This is the tan colored felt. It's tan, cashmere tan. Maybe it's just cashmere. I don't know. Excuse me. It is cashmere tan. This one comes in a 9x12 piece like this from Hobby Lobby. Or you can get it by the yard from Hobby Lobby, which I also have. I'm going to work with it by the yard, really. And then you can also get the 9x12 or the 12x18 size at Michael's. Okay? So y'all know that's where y'all can get that one. Fleece also works. Okay, fleece also works. So I have my by the yard here. Okay. Then, obviously, we have our cake boards, y'all. And we have our batting, our quilt batting. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trace my circles so we can prep our fabric so we can have it ready. So I just have some 6-inch cake boards. Y'all, look. Y'all can make these in any size. The beauty of this is they come in, you can find them in 4-inch size, 6-inch size, 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, I think 14-inch too, maybe. Hobby Lobby is going to be the best place to get them, but you can find them at Michael's. You can get them on Amazon. You can probably find them at Restaurant Supply if you have any local Restaurant Supply. Look, y'all. I was in that bacon aisle at Hobby Lobby and I saw those and I said, wait a gosh dang minute. I need these. We're doing some experiments. Okay, so I have my felt here, and when you buy it by the yard, it does come like folded in half. So it's already 2 layers for me, which is perfect. Okay, and we're going to prep felt for 2 cookies because not only are we going to do a chocolate chip cookie, y'all, I had another cookie idea. And we're going to try it out together. One of my favorite kind of cookies. So we're actually going to make 2 cookies on this live. I'm just cutting a piece of this felt off, like a blob, and I'm leaving a good inch, even 2 inches of excess material around, okay? And I'm going to do this twice. So I'm actually cutting 4 pieces of felt altogether. Okay. So we have 4 pieces. Okay, so then, a lot of times y'all, well, y'all have seen the other lives. Y'all know how I do it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace one on here, and I'm going to cut 2 circles. So whenever I prep attachments for batches, this is typically what I do. I cut 2 or 3 pieces at a time. Okay. So I trace my circle on the top layer, and we're going to cut both layers of felt here. So I'm going to cut 2 circles, and I'm going to trim like 1 millimeter or 2 off. Okay. I want to cut off all of that marker line, and I'm being careful to keep my 2 pieces lined up together. You can also pin them together. You can take a pin like you use to close your ribbons and just pin it together so they don't slide around on you. And I'll do this with 2 or 3 layers at a time. You could probably try even more. I just don't like they start getting messy after a while. Okay, so if you're going to make several of these, this is what I would do. And I am going to be using several in our wreath. Okay, so we have these circles cut, and they are just slightly smaller than my cake board, and I'm going to set those aside. Okay, and then we have these two pieces that are bigger than our cake board. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and pull out my batting. Y'all, these are so easy. A lot of people are already making them. A lot of folks know how to do it. I do have a tutorial in my Etsy shop. I think it's available in there right now. Not all of my tutorials are actually available right now. So I'm going to cut two pieces of this batting. I'm only going to put one layer on each cookie. When we start getting into these smaller sizes, it can get a little too puffy, in my opinion. I'd rather just save on the materials. I don't think that they need to be so chunky thick. Hi, Jenny! Okay, so one layer of batting for each circle. Now, sometimes I like to glue that batting down just so it won't slide around on me. We do not glue that for the chocolate chip cookies. Do not glue it. You're going to be mad later. This is our high loft quilt batting. You get it at Walmart in a bag. You can get it probably at Michael's or Amazon too, but Walmart usually has the best price. They usually have it right in store. You want the one that says high loft. That's going to be the thickest one. If you can't get the thick one, you can get a thinner one and just add extra layers, but y'all, that's extra cutting and that costs more. So that's why I just don't do that. Okay. So we're making two cookies right now with our tan felt. One's going to be chocolate chip and one's going to be something else. So we're going to make two cookies right now, y'all. Yes. So I'm just using the cake board itself to kind of be a little template for my batting here. Okay, and now I have these two pieces that are my big old blobby pieces that have excess material. I'm going to take my cake board and we're going to go batting side down. Okay. And y'all, oh, your Walmart didn't have any. Terror! Don't do it. Don't do it, little girl. Okay. So y'all, when you're covering these, the best thing to do is exactly what I'm going to show you, because we're going to go opposite each other and we're just going to fold that over. I'm not pressing real hard. I'm not giving this a lot of tension. I'm just folding it over. Okay, we're tacking it down in a couple of spots first, because if you just start in one place and then cover it, this thing shifts on you, and by the time you get back to the beginning, it's all weird. So just don't do that, okay? Jordan, have you seen the cuties that we have made? Jordan, we made a cup of milk. Did you see my cup of milk? What? And this one's my favorite. We made a slice and bake cookie. Okay. I'm excited about it. As you can tell. So now I'm just rotating and we're doing the same thing, opposite each other, okay? The replays are up for all the other cookies that we have made. They will stay up. And we're just going to hold it for a second. Now look, I'm not pulling it super tight, y'all. I'm not. Don't let me. If you let go too soon, they start popping up on you. But I'm not pulling it super tight. If you pull it super tight, it's going to start getting all cinched and buckled. So you don't want to do that. Yes, watch the replays. We did some cute stuff. I need everybody expeditiously to please make all the slice and bake cookies that we talked about on our live and post them in the group, because I need to see them. And if y'all don't do it, it's going to make me have to do it just so I can see them. Okay, y'all, please. I don't have time. Make the cookies so I can see them. I'm like so excited about it because you can make so many things with that. It's the cutest ever. But do not do a copyright infringement. Do not make the same designs that Pillsbury does, okay? Just disclaimer. Anyways, let's get rid of some extra fabric. So we have these 4 little spots. This is just in general how I wrap all attachments. I try to find some good spots to start from where I can tack it down. And then we're going to go in between there and finish wrapping it. So I'm just making a line of glue. And I'm just pinching this and pushing it down into that glue. I'm not pulling it super tight. I'm really just folding it over and smushing it into the glue. And then I'm going to come to the front, y'all. And we have some like little funky spots. Like I'm just going to come to the front and feel where they are and manipulate that while the glue is still warm. And we get this nice, pretty smooth, neat edge. Okay. The cake boards, the circle is already perfect. It's already cut for us. I hate cutting foam board. I extra hate cutting circles because they're hard. So y'all, let's take the time to really make sure that our felt looks nice too, since we have this nice perfect circle press, right? Okay. Although y'all, as I keep saying, no cookies are perfect. So don't stress it too much either. Okay, but I'm not pulling this super tight. We're not pulling it. Okay. In our last little section. And then we'll go ahead and build the other one. The cookie with the tree on is my favorite. Okay. I've had that idea for a while. And I've never seen anyone do like a slice and bake kind of cookie. And I'm just so excited that I was able to do that. And I was able to share that with y'all. So much fun. Yes, okay, well, look, here's the thing, though, is these projects really are fairly practical and affordable. I mean, you could take it as far as you want to go, okay? Hey, Michelle. I literally was like, okay, bye, Michelle, I'm going live in like 5 minutes. She said, nope, she's still late. Okay, sorry, y'all. I am just like, I'm in a silly, goofy mood. We've had so much fun this weekend. I'm loving all the energy. Everybody has been liking all the tutorials. It just makes me so happy. Okay, we're going to do our other one. Same thing. Real quick. So has anybody made any cookies yet? Justin, hey! Has anybody made any cookies yet? Also, Martha, I would say that if you are selling your crafts as a side hustle, or if you are a small business owner, that you absolutely can list these in your shop. These are fantastic for tree decor, for wreath attachments. You can make ornaments. Like, there's so much you can do with these. And a lot of these cookies can be made different colors. Okay, yeah, Justin. Same. Okay. You can, like, the sky is the limit with a lot of this stuff. These are just, like, super basic little ideas. And y'all can take it and run with it. And you can make money from these. Okay? So, I don't know what you got going. Okay? But you can make money off these. And if you're a wreath maker and you're wanting to maybe step up your wreaths, make them a little more unique, you can DIY some of your own little quick attachments. Or maybe you're investing in a nice character attachment and you want some nice embellishments to go with it that's not like the run-of-the-mill. You can just DIY some to go with it, save yourself a couple of bucks. Okay, maybe you're making your own home decor and you love that handmade touch, but maybe you don't have the budget to buy all the handmade goodies from other makers, because that's how I be like sometimes. Okay, well, you can come up with your own goodies instead. Okay, now, I'm not encouraging anybody to, you know, copy other people's stuff, but I hope this gives y'all ideas, too, for your own DIY projects, okay? Me, personally, I love a cookie theme for the kitchen. I have wanted to do a cookie tree in my kitchen forever. Forever, and I never have, so I guess we better get to it. There's no excuses now. I'm just finishing this up, just exactly the same as the other one. Yes, exactly. And you know, that's how I started out making attachments, y'all. I made wreaths first. Okay, I made wreaths going back like 2018, 2019. I was making little wreaths and I was selling them on Facebook Marketplace and I was doing them real expensive. Y'all, I didn't like how this was sitting right here. And so I just kind of popped it up and put more glue in there so that I can get it how I want it. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. There will be replays of all of these. They will stay up, y'all. But yeah, I was making super inexpensive little wreaths and I was selling them locally. And, you know, COVID happened and I thought, well, maybe this is my sign that I finally need to move on to Etsy, right? But then I thought, y'all, there's so many beautiful wreaths on Etsy. And I'm not competing with that, with these little wreaths that I'm making. Which, y'all, you shouldn't compare yourself to anybody. But I thought, I've got to make myself stand out. Again, I'm just popping this up so I can re-glue it. Y'all, the back doesn't, it's okay if the back's ugly. Nobody will ever see it. Don't worry about it. It matters if the front is cute. That's what matters, okay? So anyways, I gotta make my stuff stand out. So I started making little embellishments because I certainly couldn't afford to purchase any. And I love to DIY. I've always been like that, okay? So I thought, let me try something, you know? Let me experiment. Let me come up with some things. And I did. And I started using them in wreaths. Okay, so on one of these, well, yeah, we're going to set our little backing pieces aside. And we're going to set one of these aside, okay? So for the cookies, it's really going to depend on which cookies it is, how big they are, and how much goodies you put on them. Okay, so give me just a second, and I'm going to, we'll go in on that topic too. So anywho, I started making my wreaths with these extra little embellishments and things that I was creating. And y'all, I was posting them online and everybody was like, oh, where'd you get the attachment? Where'd you get this? So I thought, well, I got it from my own shop if you want one. That's how that went. You know, I'm a single mom and I definitely needed the sales. So I started making attachments too, and that took off for me. And now here we are, and I love to do both, y'all. I still love to do both all these years later. So this is what we have, is an embroidery needle. It's bigger than a regular needle. Okay, y'all? Don't look at my nails. My nails are probably a mess. And then we have an embroidery string. Look, the specific color is not too serious. What you want is to try to use a color that is as close to your cookie base as possible. But we're pretty much going to be covering it, so it's not that serious, okay? Don't stress too much about it. All right? You're not going to really see it in the end. And so what we're going to do is we're going to thread this. We're going to get us a nice long string here because I don't want to have to thread it again. Okay. Now, what would I charge for cookies? Okay. That's kind of a loaded question, y'all, and it really depends on the cookie. So first of all, I do not typically do free shipping. I almost always, it's the price plus shipping first off. So just your baseline. But I typically price my attachments, y'all, and this is the kind of stuff that I teach in my paid group. We have lots of business tips in there, and I try to help people with like how I've done things. It's just an example. Like, this is how I do it. So I like to charge for my time, to be honest. Yes, you charge for supplies too. Okay, when we price wreaths, most people do supplies times 2, supplies times 2.5, supplies times 3. When we're making attachments, I could never charge supplies times 2 because I would not be making enough money at all. So what I do is I calculate my time. How long does it take me to make this? And how much do I want to make by the hour? And I do that math. And then I add up all my supplies and I add that to the total. And that's pretty much how I price my stuff, to be honest with you. So I hadn't priced out any of the cookies that we made so far except for the gingerbread snowflake because somebody asked. Really quickly, y'all. What we're going to do is, I say my attachments are no-sew, so do not be scared. We're just going to poke holes and tie knots. That's all we're going to do, okay? And there may be a fancier way of doing this. I don't know. But this is just how I've always done it, okay? I have a tutorial for a giant chocolate chip cookie, but it's a like a happy birthday cookie cake. So it's a little bit different, y'all. And that one's in my shop that we did, gosh, last April, I do believe. Last April or last May in my paid group, okay? This is just a much simpler, like, mini version, okay? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to take this needle And I'm just going to pick a random spot, and I'm going to poke the needle through the board. And I can feel it wanting to come through the felt up here. Okay, but it's kind of hard to get it through that felt sometimes. So you're going to wiggle it and push until it comes through. Okay? And I'm going to pull that string until there's just a couple inches left. All right? We're going to flip it over, and then right next to that spot, like literally right next to it, just a couple millimeters, I'm going to wiggle this, and I'm going to poke it through that felt. And it's honestly kind of hard to get it through that felt. So what I'm going to do is up against my mat. This mat is like a little bit soft, right? It's meant for a blade to go on it. Okay, if I was to do this on my hard table, this would slip and slide, and it would not be a safe thing to do. But this is going to allow me like somewhat of a stable, cushy surface that I'm going to push this up against my table. Do not put your finger in the way and have this thing come through in your finger, y'all. Do not do that. But I'm going to push it through, very firm but gentle. And be careful, because these boards can bend as well. So don't let it bend, okay? And we're just going to pull it through. I'm going to hold on to this little tail, and I'm going to pull that through, okay? And then you can see here we have this little spot up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cinch that tight. All right? And we're just going to tie it in the back. We're just going to tie it as tight as we can. Okay? Okay, so back to our, see how it makes like a little indentation in the cookie? And that's where our chocolate chip is going to sit. Okay? So back to our little chat about pricing. Okay, so, and that's also another thing that I like to do in my group is I do typically, with our pre-recorded tutorials in there, I do offer price suggestions of what I would sell stuff for. Okay, so for example, oh geez, these two guys right here that we made together, well, we kind of made, the replay is up, y'all. If I was selling these, I would probably go ahead, y'all, I'm just picking another random spot. I'm going to do several chocolate chips on here, and I'm just going to randomly repeat this all over this cookie. You can put as much or as little as you want, okay? They don't have to be perfectly evenly spaced. They can, if that's what you like, do what you like, okay? But anywho, for these two, like if I was going to sell these in my shop, I would list them as a pair. And I would either have them both with or without peppermints. I wouldn't do one with and one without. I would have them a matching pair. And they're 10-inch cookies. And I added up my supply costs and about how long it'd take me to make it if I wasn't live. Okay. And if I was selling them, I would definitely do it as a pair. And I would sell them around $35 to $40 plus shipping in my Etsy shop. Okay. And that is accounting for my time, my supplies, and my Etsy fees. Okay. So, a thimble. Girl, yes. That's smart. Y'all, safety first. The other Veronica says use a thimble, okay? And I don't mean other Veronica in a bad way, okay? All Veronicas are wonderful, okay? Y'all, look, we got a knot and it didn't pull tight. Okay, hold please. That's what I get for yakking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. So I'm just going to release that. We're going to cut it off, and we're going to start over. It's really not a big deal, y'all. It's not that serious. This is fairly foolproof. Just try not to bend your board, and try not to poke yourself. I'm going to try to find the same holes that we already poked. And don't let yourself get knots like that, okay? All right. So, yeah. So, anyways, that's how I do my pricing. And everybody's different, so lots of people price things different ways. That's specifically how I price attachments. I more so go by time. Attachments do not take as much money in supplies a lot of the time. Some do. Y'all, there are amazing, way over the top, super elaborate attachments, and those prices are way up there, but y'all, those people have a lot of supplies in there too. So I'm just kind of like eyeballing where I want another chocolate chip. We're going to flip it over and do our holes. This is a little bit redundant, so sorry about that, y'all. But I will be using several of these. The snow globe tutorial. Okay, so yes. However, I just need to add it back to my shop. I need to add it back. So, yeah. That sounds about right, Veronica. That sounds about right. And that's why I like to do them in sets, because that sounds like, okay, why would I want to buy one cookie for $10 and then pay shipping for it if I could get 3 for $28, and then it's the same, it's probably about the same shipping charge, and so each piece is going to be a little less expensive. Hey, we're making chocolate chip cookies, you know? The other thing I like to do is, if you're doing batches of something, so let's say I wanted to sell these and I wanted to sell sets of 3, okay, I would maybe make a dozen. So I would have 4 sets of 3, and then I would take, how long did it take me to make all of them, and then divide it down, and then charge for my time accordingly, okay? Do not ever sell yourself short on your time. I see folks who attachments are, and I'm not telling y'all to go overprice either. Do not price yourself out of your sales either, okay? But I see people who undercharge severely, and then pretty soon after you hear them saying, oh, my business isn't doing well or whatever, or they're always running sales, and then they're complaining that they're not making enough sales and stuff. Y'all, sales just attracts people who always want a discount, right? So it shouldn't really do that so often. Every once in a while is okay though, but be careful, y'all. Yes. I never met a Veronica that wasn't gorgeous and amazing and talented. So we're just continuing with our little holes. Yes. Now look, y'all, for chocolate chips, I am just going to use the pre-made chocolate chips that you can buy all over Etsy in all the favorite places that we have talked about, sprinkles and candies and things. But you can make them out of clay, and they will be a little more irregular shaped, and I think that's actually cuter. You also can cut, if you get you like a chocolate brown kind of colored foam sheet, you can cut some little like jagged pieces that look like chocolate chunks even for this. So just, you can do all kinds of cute stuff. There's no one specific way to do these things, y'all. Okay. So see how we just have like some random chips going on? Put one way over here. Again, do as many as you like or don't like, okay? And the other thing, and this goes for all the cookies that we have been making, y'all, I don't add any shading, okay? I don't add any shading. There are people who do add shading, and I think it's really cute, okay? So, for me, I have experimented with it to see, like, how I could shade stuff a little bit. I would say chalk pastels or oil pastels. The oil pastels are a little less forgiving, okay? But you can kind of rub that where you want some shading, and then use like a stiff paintbrush to kind of smudge it around and blend it out a little, okay? However, I love the way it looks. I personally don't do it only because I feel like there's a high margin for error. And I think sometimes too much shading doesn't look the best. Let's do like one more right here, and then we'll glue our chips on, okay? I think too much shading, I don't really like too much. And it's just not a skill that I have, okay? Our string's getting short, y'all. I went right through. It's just not a skill that I have. I think there are people who are much better at that. For me, with the felt, when you get to trying to blending it and stuff, it gets kind of fuzzy and pilly and weird. So you really don't have, like, you have to be careful about it, okay? And so I just feel like too much pressure. And then if you mess it up, you're already so far along in your cookie making process that you would have to start your cookie over, and like that just scares me. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's not that I don't like it or don't know how to do it. I just never have, and it's not something that I find to be easy to do, and it does add more time on. So I try to just embellish in different ways. I like to add lots of goodies and stuff like that, okay? So there's no wrong way. I really do love the way the shading looks. It's just not how I do it. If you do it, I think that's amazing. See, Veronica said she does the shading. I think it looks cute. I think it looks cute. So I'm also just suggesting that for anybody who wants to do that or wondering how you do that. There's different ways. I've seen people use different things for it. Personally, the chalk pastels for me, you're just going to rub it on and blend it out. Maybe I'm just too scared. There are certain things I'm just not great at, and I know my limitations. So we have some little fake chocolate chips. These are pre-made, okay? You can, yeah, just a little. I like it just a little bit, but I think it does add a lot too. It adds a lot of dimension, y'all. You can get these all over the place. Annie's Treasures, play code 3. Just check all the places. And all we're going to do is just glue them down in these little spots. Now look. You can glue it down like straight flat on there. Or you can even kind of glue it like a little sideways. I don't know if y'all can see that. It doesn't matter. If you make your own chocolate chips out of clay, it will look even better because they'll look kind of wonky a little bit on purpose. If you do that, it would look cuter. I do think. But again, I'm not going to sit and make all these chocolate chips. Okay? There are people who are far better at that than I. That's all I'm going to say. I like making attachments faster and simpler, and then I'm going to put it in a wreath. If I have too many steps and too many things to do and too much drying time, I tend to lose interest, I hate to say. The chocolate chips, check on Etsy, okay? You probably just heard me. You probably typed that before I was saying that. Check Happy Kawaii Supplies, check Play Code 3, Sugar Pop Supply, check Annie's Treasures. I don't know if Crystal from Glitz and Glue has these specifically. She has a lot of cute stuff too. You can certainly use brown foam clay. You can use EVA foam and cut pieces. You can do whatever you want. So now, and I know this is like uneven chips, but I kind of like that. I think that makes it look kind of more random, like an actually cookie would be. Okay, so we're going to set this aside. I probably should have put my backing before my chip. So we're going to let that glue set up for a second and we'll add our backing. And then y'all, real quick. And again, you can make these in any size. Y'all, you could do any color. Look, y'all, this is what we did in my group. You could do a Halloween one. Okay, with black for the cookie. You could do a sugar cookie color and add pastel chips. Where's my pastel chips? Where are they? There's also Halloween chips. There's Christmas colored chips. There's just, you can do anything with this, okay? I think it's a really, really cute little idea. Fantastic wreath embellishment. You can make it big. You can make it small. Guys, you can get foam board and make these like huge if you wanted like some really cool wall decor. That's something I would probably do. Yes, okay, so sorry. The glue, I'm using clear fabric glue. You're going to want a permanent clear fabric glue. For me, that's just what's going to hold it the best. You could use hot glue, but this is going to hold it better. So, yes. Y'all, you don't, yeah, like the chips like that, you can literally space them like evenly if that's what you like. I'm not knocking that. I think all cookies are valid, okay? I love them all. So I did have one more cookie idea to share with y'all. Like, it's like a last minute idea. I thought about this last night. And I was experimenting. And it was not coming out how I actually really wanted it to. And I was getting a little bit, like, discouraged. And then, so I tried something else, like Plan B. And so, look, y'all. Tell me what y'all think. What kind of cookie this is. What kind of cookie is this? Put it in the chat. What do you think this is? One of my personal favorites. Very much not realistic. Okay? But what kind of cookie does this look like to y'all? Let me know, let me know. Y'all, I'm such a dork. Okay, so to make this one, where did my plate go? Yay! Y'all, peanut butter is one of my very favorites. Okay, this is one of those times, y'all, where I get an idea and I think, is that going to translate? Hold, please. I'm like, is that going to translate? Is that going to look like what I want it to look like? Okay. This color, or the other, like, sugar cookie color? The sugar cookie color is antique white, and my friend, it's hard to get since our dear Joann's closed. Okay. This one, or this one, or this one. Or is it because of this? This one is the same color as this. I'm going to show you how I did it. The antique white, just because there's a comment delay, so I'm just going to say it anyways in case this is what you're asking. The antique white, you can get it in the 9x12 squares at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Unfortunately, that's the easiest way to get it, and so we just have to be mindful of the size of cookie that we're making with those. Or you can get it like this by the yard online at Michael's, this exact one, but it is so expensive. It is really not a reasonable price at all. I'm going to be really honest with y'all. Look, and with supplies going up and all of these uncertain things that we have going on, you know, you just have to adjust your finished price. Me personally, I'm going to say go ahead and still make it. You just have to adjust your price. Y'all have to go get a paintbrush. I'm unprepared. Hold, please. Oh, wait. Did I just find a crusty one? I found a crusty one. I'm going to make do with this crusty paintbrush. I don't wash paintbrushes, y'all. So, yeah. It's not easy right now. Also, you can use fleece. If you can find any fleece colors that are like that. But y'all, you can also experiment with other fabrics. You just need something that's that light color. The issue is, like a cotton or something like that will fray. You could also probably try velvet even. I don't know, y'all. We gotta get creative. I was hoping Joann's would give us more, but not Joann's, Michael's. But Michael's has not shown up the way we need her to, okay? All I'm gonna do here, y'all, this probably sounds crazy. We're gonna put Mod Podge. Hi, Carrie. Hi. We're gonna put Mod Podge all over this. We're just gonna paint it with Mod Podge. This would be, y'all, after the mess I made last night with Mod Podge, look, I should not be trusted. This would be about 1,000,000 times easier with a bigger brush, but I forgot to bring one with me. And so we're just going to make do. Y'all, and you have to, like, really put a lot on because it's going to absorb it. Okay. I'm going to bet there's probably better ways to do this, but this is what I came up with late last night. And I don't know why I was so determined. So y'all, you know how we just used the string to make a little indentation for our chocolate chips to sit? So I was trying to do that to make like the little indentation for the fork tines, and it was not giving. It was not giving. So I resorted to making stripes. Okay? And so it does look better than what plan A looked like. So we're going to roll with it. And what I'm doing here right now, and I'm doing that because I want it to look like it's crusted in sugar. I want it to look like it has that little sugar crystal kind of coating on it. Okay. I think I'm going to stop right here and go ahead and start glittering, because I don't want this Mod Podge to start drying out on me either, because if it gets too dry, it's not going to grab the glitter the way I want it to. Okay. This doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. Y'all see how crazy I'm being right now? I did it just this crazy late last night. Hairspray, yeah. I would probably use Gorilla Spray. I would probably take it outside and spray the heck out of it with the Gorilla Glue spray in the orange can. Okay? Spray it until it looks crazy. And then just dump the glitter on it. And press it on there. Okay? Look, when I'm pressing this on here, I'm not getting any glue on my hands. I'm just getting glitter on my hands, okay? Yes, there is a lady on TikTok who makes all of these like way more realistic with like foam and stuff. Huge cookies. You could do that with this. You could. You just have to size everything up, do extra layers of batting to make it thicker. Boom. It's something I would do. I'm all for the maximalist decor. So y'all, you see how this looks? She looks crusty. She looks weird. Okay. I promise that it dries down like this. Okay. It doesn't stay so white. The only reason, like right here, it looks more white because I got a lot more glitter right there. Anyways, we're going to proceed. I'm probably going to get glitter all in my Mod Podge for doing it this way, but that's okay. It always inevitably happens. At least this one's clear glitter. My Mod Podge is always contaminated, y'all. So we're just going to do this. I'll get the other side going. And try not to make it look like there's a crusty seam in the middle either. I think hairspray would work too, though. I do. I say use what you have also, y'all. Sometimes some people get caught up in, and I'm people because I love to go shopping, okay? But sometimes, y'all, we need to stay home and use what we have, okay? Despite my own love for shopping, especially for craft stuff. And then you see people doing stuff and you're like, OMG, I need that. I need those supplies. I want to try that. And then sometimes we don't always end up, if we're honest with ourselves, we don't always end up trying the things. So I hope y'all do try these things that I'm teaching today and yesterday and the day before. I hope they're super easy and affordable for y'all. Add a little pizzazz to your holiday decor. Yeah, y'all see this guy? I don't close it. Here's another one. This one's dried out. Like, it's like, so I had to thin it out with some acetone. Anyways, I do not wash brushes. I typically like to try to use the disposable sponge ones or like the makeup sponges when I can for stuff because I know I'm not going to wash it. Jenny, you know I am. We do a little too much of the shopping sometimes. You know, but I just mean by that, y'all, sometimes we just need to be a little practical and resourceful. We don't always have to buy a bunch of new stuff. Okay, so I say that, but then I also say I don't wash my paintbrushes, and I'm always buying paintbrushes. Y'all see, listen, be better than me. I'm a hot mess, y'all, sorry. Okay, I'm having too much fun this weekend, so I'm just like in a silly, goofy mood this morning because I'm so excited for this wreath. It's going to be so gosh dang cute. Okay, we're just going to do the other side here and hope that it doesn't look crazy in the middle. We're going to add those ribbon stripes on it, so that'll probably disguise it a little, okay? Probably just a little. So, y'all, one of my very favorite cookies that I only ever do at holiday, like at the Christmas time. I can't even talk, y'all. The peanut butter cookies, but, like, what you do is you make, like, them small little cookies and then, like, mini size. And then when they come out of the oven, you put the little Hershey's Kiss in the middle, and it kind of gets, like, melty a little. I need those. Okay. I don't know how we would make them, though. I don't know how we would make that. And also, I don't want to make a Hershey's Kiss thing, because I'm afraid of copyrights. Okay? We're a little scared of that. Okay. I'm going to leave this glitter on this plate, and I'm going to set it aside. And we'll talk about why in just a second. Now, y'all, to make my little stripy stripes on here, like the fork tines, I'm using this kind of like tan color. What is it called? It's just called tan. From Hairbow Center. This is a 1/4 inch wide, little skinny little ribbon. And I'm going to go ahead and cut 8 strips of ribbon. They're probably about 8 or 9 inches long. This is 6 inches wide, so and I just need enough to wrap it around the back. So, you guys, this would be a great opportunity to use your ribbon tail boards from Hot Mish Mom if you got them. I do, but they're not handy right now. That would have been a great plug for my homie. Okay. Yeah, let's not do a copyright infringement, guys. Okay, let's not do that. And yeah, if y'all didn't know, there are companies that have entire legal teams. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they have employees whose sole job is to scour the internet, finding things that they can go after folks for. Okay, so there are people who sit on Etsy and search, and look, y'all putting inspired by, and you know, all the little code names like the green monster and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's not getting it. If anything, y'all making it easier for them to find you. So y'all be careful with that. Don't do a copyright infringement, guys. So this is what we're doing. Okay? Yeah. Don't do it, guys. It's just not, it's never going to be worth it. It's never going to be worth it. You can lose your shop. You can get sued. Just avoid it. Okay? What I'm going to do is forks. This is a crafting tool, guys. Forks usually have 4 tines, right? So we want to put 4 little stripes because there should be 4 little indentations going either way. If you've ever made peanut butter cookies, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of eyeball these, and I'm going to kind of space them, but I'm going to kind of try to keep them to the middle. Okay, I don't want them all spread out. Okay, and it's a little tricky. Look at this one, is not centered. But I just want to remind y'all, the peanut butter cookies are never perfectly centered either. So we're good. Yeah. Oh yeah. I do not promote that. You know, I'm not going to knock anybody. That's what they want to do. But I'm telling y'all, I don't do it. I don't recommend anybody do it. We're just going to put a little bead of glue across our ribbon here. Okay. And I'm just going to place it kind of slightly off center because we're doing 4, right? So it's an even number. So we need a little off center. And then we're just going to eyeball it from there. And I'm just going to glue all these little stripes on the front real quick. I want them fairly close together. The glitter is going to shed, y'all, on this one. This is a hot mess with this Mod Podge. And I probably would, if I was making a bunch of these in batches and I had the patience, I would let this Mod Podge dry before I handle it so much to do this part, okay? So, and y'all, there's some people making some really cool designs, but then they're copyright stuff. And I'm like, that's cool, but it's also kind of not cool because I don't want to see some of my favorite creators get in trouble either. Okay, there we go. Like, y'all, the Little Debbie trees, I love those. You don't think for a second I thought I want to make one, but no, I do not. So now we're just going to rotate. Look, I'm off center. That's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if you get these perfectly straight, because if you actually go look at the real cookies and they're just like off center and crooked. So that's how they bake out. That's the beauty of this, guys. This stuff does not have to be perfect. We try our hardest to make these pieces as consistent as we can from one piece to the next, because if you're making duplicates and you have that picture in your Etsy shop and people are ordering it based on that, you want it to look like that picture, okay? But y'all, cookies are never perfect. So just don't worry too much. Don't stress. Okay? So we have our, look, that is so off center that it's not even funny. But it's fine. It's fine. You know what? I have done a stained glass style cookie, kind of like the little cutout with the see-through center. We did a gingerbread man with a little transparent red heart in the middle in my Christmas cookie workshop that I did last year. Not last year, 2 years ago. Okay, so the center cutout is tricky, but it can be done. And I'm saying that because I did it. This is our cookie so far. And the reason I wanted to leave this glitter here is because this Mod Podge is wet, and I'm just going to turn this over on here so that I don't have to worry, right? Like, the glitter's already there. The Mod Podge is not going to get gloopy on anything, okay? And then we're just going to glue these on the back. And all I'm going to do is drop a little glue on these and fold them to the back. Easy peasy. Yeah. I have another super giant cookie idea I might be doing in my paid group soon. Something a little different, but extremely cute. Y'all, I just be getting ideas. A lot of times with cookies and sweet stuff, I look at the real treats. I go Googling and I look at cookies, and that's how I decide I want to make stuff. I figure it out from there. What could I use to make this? How could I get this look? Oh, yeah, well, okay, so my paid group, y'all, I haven't really been having new members into my group. We're in a little bit of a transition phase here. I just recently changed up a little bit of the things in my group. But essentially what we got going on is my group is a $25 monthly subscription fee. And every week we're doing one pre-recorded tutorial and then one live. And our pre-recorded tutorials, really on all of our live and pre-recorded, I make all kind of projects, y'all. I do centerpieces and wreaths and flags and attachments, and we do little fake bakey items sometimes too. Sometimes I do big over-the-top, very complicated attachments for some of our pre-recorded tutorials, okay? What else do we do? We just do all kinds of projects like that. A lot of wreaths, a lot of attachments, centerpieces. We do little signs and door hangers and things. A lot of times what we do is we make an attachment and then we make a wreath with it. So this, again, just like we're doing here, we're making all these little goodies and then we're going to put them all together in some larger projects. And that's exactly what we do in my group. The pre-recorded tutorials, we are going to be focusing on our attachments a little bit more with those. And then the lives are extremely open-ended. We also even share some business tips. I have stuff about how to price your stuff, how to take pictures, how to edit pictures. Geez, y'all, so many tips in there. So many tips. I can't even think all the things. And all of our lives inside that group always stay up. So if anybody was to join, you know, now, for example, there are dozens of past replays and projects in there to watch immediately upon arrival into the group. So it's a lot of fun in there. I try to bring something a little bit different. Okay, we encourage creativity all the way, all the time. Okay, y'all. I try to, when I have new ideas and things, I share it there first. All the good stuff. We do add the templates for all of our attachments. They're always no-sew attachments. Most of the time I'm using fabrics and trims and things. Sometimes we do some clay and other things like that. Y'all, I do not really do characters. Very rare occasion, and it's usually pretty specific. So there are some fantastic people doing the characters. I'm not good at faces. So I should have left my glitter on here, but I'm just going to go ahead and put this back on my plate. And we're going to add our backing. Okay? We are going to add our backing. The other thing that I do is a lot of my tutorials that we do in the group, we put them in the shop too. So they're individually for folks who aren't really into a subscription payment. And also, members in my group get a huge big old 40% off of those. So people who join my group get a huge discount on my shop tutorials as well from the past. So, yes. That's a lot of fun. I really like doing attachments and wreaths. So that's why we do that. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm just gluing this on here, y'all. Ooh, I got myself with the glue. I'm trying to get the edge down nice and secure. We're getting that glue right up to the edge so it can be nice and neat. There we go. We don't want the back lifting up. Okay. Oh, Jenny. Jenny is super talented, y'all. She is very, very talented. I don't think she has a page or a shop, but every time I see her, she has a very good eye. She's always making really cute stuff, y'all. Our chocolate chip cookie. I'm going to just flip that guy over, and we're going to cover the back. Before I cover the back, though, I'm going to dab a little dab of glue on each of these spots just for extra security. Okay. We'll go ahead and get that back covered. Oh, Jenny, you're like way too sweet. I do try to keep things practical. Sometimes we get a little over the top. A lot of the wreaths I do are just large anyways, but with attachments, y'all, I try to stay as practical as I can. A lot of the stuff I do is all levels. Beginner, intermediate, advanced. Sue, hello. Hey. Look, I'm about to recap all the cookies, so get ready. I was just saying last night, too, like, I need some cookies, and I have animal cookies. I had to go eat me some animal cookies after my live last night. Okay, so we have chocolate chip. Our little chocolate chips. We have our peanut butter. Peanut butter. Yes. Okay, look. The replays are available. They're all up. Okay. We made our cookies for Santa sign. Super, super cute. I'm going to move this because it's wet and I'm probably going to mess something up. So just get that out the way. We made snowflake gingerbread. We made heart gingerbread. We made some swirls. We used a cake board for these too, y'all. Them cake boards are everything. I love them. We made some frosted sugar cookies. So cute. So cute. And last but not least, y'all, my favorite. My very favorite. The slice and bake. Oh my gosh. It's so cute. I seriously need everybody to make all the versions of these, please. Stat. Immediately. I'm expecting to see the post this week. They're so cute. I'm obsessed. Okay. So y'all, all of our cookies here, we made all these cookies together. And I have later on, I have two different projects. Okay. First of all, obviously one of them is a wreath. We're going to do our Santa. We're going to put all this together in a wreath. Okay. But I also have another quicker, easier little project where the gingerbread heart is cute. Okay, I have another, and y'all, you guys, keep in mind, we used Copper Canyon felt for the gingerbread, we used tan for the chocolate chip and the peanut butter, and we used antique white for the sugar cookies and the slice and bake. Y'all can interchange these and make all different kind of cookies with this stuff. Y'all can do different seasons, different holidays, y'all just, and the circles are already cut for you. That's the best part. Okay. So, where was I, y'all? I got so excited. Oh, we also did this one, too. The peppermint one. I'm thinking I'm going to use the plain one on my wreath, though. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Squirrel brain. I have another little small project. So, I'll be live at 7 Central Time to make our wreath with all the goodies. But at 5, I will also be live to put together something super simple, also using our cookies, okay? The milk! How could I forget the milk? Y'all, sometimes it's the simplest things. Everybody's going crazy for the milk, okay? This is our milk. This is the one with the sprinkles on the rim. And then we have one without the sprinkles. Just a like glittery little milk. Stop it right now. Okay, so in there, in the group, the milk is in the replay that says bonus time. It says bonus time and it has little swirls and milk cups emojis on the caption. Okay, look, this is just a little cup from Target. It's Room Essentials. It's a little clear plastic cup. It was $1. okay? I got it on Target Drive Up. Love that for me. I love me some Target Drive Up. All we did was glue in a plastic straw. I lined it with a piece of felt, and we stuffed that thing with polyfill, and we covered it with glitter. Okay? Easy. It literally took like 5 minutes, y'all. So easy. All I did was I went on Google and I searched clear tumbler. And I just went with the first plain. And this is nice and sturdy, but it's also not like super thick and heavy. So it is perfect for like a tree, wreath, whatever. Okay? So simple. So simple. That replay is up to, it's the same replay where we made the swirls. It's at the end of that one, okay? And y'all, the replays stay up for 30 days here in the group. I will be adding these all to my YouTube. They'll all be available on my YouTube channel, and I'll link them back in the group for y'all so that y'all can always find them any old time. We could even have newcomers coming in for next Christmas, and they can enjoy all these tutorials as well. So even though we're going to finish up our lives today, these will always be available, y'all. Anyways, I'm so excited for our wreath. I am going to go ahead and hop off. We're going to have Carrie from Hot Mesh Mom joining us right around 2 Central Time. She made a really, really cute sign on her page and some really cute little embellishments to go with it. And so she's going to come and make a wreath with us. I'm really excited for that. So she'll be on in about 2 hours, y'all, right around 2 Central Time. And then I'll be back at 5 to do a really quick project. And then I'll be back again at 7 to make our wreath. Okay, y'all. Thank you for being here. I love sharing this stuff, y'all. I get so excited. It's a lot of work. It's a lot it's a lot in a short little time frame doing all these lives like this. But y'all, it's so much fun. So much fun I'm having with y'all. So I really appreciate everyone for being here. And I will see y'all later. Bye, y'all.